I'm Erica Quinones. I'm an English PhD student at the University of Delaware, and I spent the summer working with the Connecting Communities Digital Initiative.
As a junior fellow working with CCDI, my project addresses the group's goal of providing resources to readers who use the library's digital materials to create projects that center communities of color. My project, a 26-page zine, serves as a guide for queer Latinx artists who are interested in the history of our community's activism during the 1970s gay liberation movement. While I'm starting with the 1970s, it's important to stress that people of color were part of the gay rights movement from the very beginning. The homophile movement, which became visible after World War II, included major groups that were founded by and led by people of color, advocated for issues like interracial marriage, and drew inspiration from the civil rights movement for their own advocacy tactics. However, the gay liberation movement saw a proliferation of activist groups that made gender, racial, and economic justice integral to their vision of gay liberation. One such organization was Third World Gay Revolution, or Trigger. Trigger was a short lived but passionate coalition of queer, Latinx, and Black socialists that budded from the Gay Liberation Front to give non white members their own space. In their 16-point platform, the group demands a litany of desires, including freedom of sexual and gender expression, the right to gender affirmation therapies, free childcare, guaranteed employment, racial equality, international solidarity, and much more. They were active in direct action initiatives and collaborated with racial justice organizations like the Black Panther Party. And they even attended the Black Panthers Revolutionary People's Constitutional Convention in September 1970, where they helped draft a statement of demands for gay men's rights. While my zine takes Trigger's story and uses it as a case study for learning about Latinx involvement in the gay liberation movement, I was inspired by the works of Trigger's graphic designer, Juan Carlos Vidal, when designing the zine itself. The first time I saw Vidal's name was when I encountered his poster, Gay is Angry, in the collection. I was blown away by its contrasting violence and beauty, which I learned is characteristic of his art. Influenced by his Latin, immigrant, and sexual identities, Vidal's designs are as central to his activism as his words. When designing my zine, I was very aware that its aesthetic could easily talk over the history I was writing about. Introducing their history in a shiny frame would take away from their DIY revolution. So letting Nestor Latronico's vision of publication as existence guide my work, I sought to riff off the precisely imperfect, often ironic style that drew me in. When designing text spreads, I wanted Trigger members to speak with their own voices. So I cut up Vidal's spreads and collaged them into separators, borders, and pull quotes, careful to keep each element in its original context. And when making collages, I was drawn to images of protest posters in a garbage bin, the one glaring youth in a photo's background, and bright pink flowers sprouting in the midst of a rally. Beautiful and energetic and on the brink of something. I hope these designs can preserve the energy emanated by the history I studied and give readers a taste of this era's vibrancy. I'd like to thank the whole CCDI team for their help throughout this project, especially my project mentor, Brian Fu, and the other junior fellows whose projects are simply amazing. Thank you.